I'm going to start the trainings typically now with a little bit of wisdom. And the wisdom this week that I want to emphasize is directly tied to the training that we're doing, which is all around the body. But I want to bring in kind of the stuff we did last week and what we're doing this week to make a point. Um, when you tame your mind, you're doing something that is you you're doing it, right? So if you are taming your mind, that means that you're taming something that you have, not something that you are. You see the distinction? If you were your mind, you couldn't tame your mind. There wouldn't be a you to tame your mind. So when you tame your mind, you're engaging in um, what you're engaging is an act of choice. So you're making this choice. So you're choosing to interact with your mind in a particular way. Now, today and this week, that was last week, today and this week, we're going to add to that where you're going to be choosing to interact with your body. Now, when you interact with your mind has a particular set of kind of ways to show itself or to communicate. It's thought based. It's the experiences. It's the experience of thinking. Okay, when you're interacting with your body, you're interacting with a different kind of thing. It's still you doing the interaction. So you're interacting with your body, meaning you're not your body. You're the thing that's aware of your body. So there's a separation there. But your body interacts a little bit differently than your mind. So your mind is kind of thoughts, but your body is more sensation. Like, for example, it's cold in the garage. So if I swing my hand like that, I can feel the air of the cold pushing against my hands, and I feel the sensation of the cold. Now, I feel it, and while I'm talking to you, I'm giving this language, but at the same time, I'm experiencing two different things. So I'm the centerpiece, and these things are happening, and where I put my attention, so if I put my attention on something, that's where it shows up, okay? So you're the director, okay? You're not your mind, you're not your body, you're the awareness, and you're directing that awareness. And that's part of why we're teaching you mindfulness, to the skill of where to direct that awareness. Now, here's a little bit of wisdom for you. So if you can do that, meaning you can recognize, oh, I'm thinking, I'm going to choose this, or oh, I'm going to choose this way to move my thoughts, or oh, I'm going to influence my body sensation this way. If you can choose that, then know that you can't just not only can you choose it in training, but you can choose it in life itself. And so last week when I put out a post about how kind of in response to the insurrection that took place on the Capitol on the 6th, I posted in my post, you know, I kind of like a hope. It was like a prayer to Lady Liberty, the Statue of Liberty. Allow me to interact with the people who think differently than myself with my heart and not my intellect. And several people ask, what does that mean? How do you interact with someone as not interact with their intellect, but interact with something heartfelt? And so I'll say this, and then we'll get into the training. The way you do it is by what we're doing right now. Instead of being in your thinking, you shift to your body. So say they're talking about, 2 plus 2 is 5. And you're like, no, 2 plus 2 is 4. And they're adamant that 2 plus 2 is 5. It's a skill and it's something you have to practice. But instead of talking to them about 2 plus 2 is 5, you talk to them about being in a place that makes them feel confident. So it's like, oh, 2 plus 2 is 5. And you're like, you're thinking 2 plus 2 is 5. And they're like, absolutely. 2 plus 2 is 5. I've seen it. I've seen it written here. And this person who's very, very powerful says 2 plus 2 is 5. And you're like, okay, I see what you're saying. You get a sense of confidence from that, right? You get a sense of confidence from the powerful person and all the stuff you're reading. Does that give you a sense of confidence? And they're like, yes. And you're like, I totally get that. I understand the confidence feeling as well. When I feel confident, I can really feel it here. Like it makes me feel lifted. Last time I felt really confident was boom, 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 boom. So you see what I did there? 2 plus 2 is 5. No, 2 plus 2 is 4. 2 plus 2 is 5. 2 plus 2 is 4. 2 plus 2. You can't fix that. You can't. If you try, it gets harder. Okay? So what you do is if you interact with an intellectual conundrum, okay, stop going to the intellect. Go to the body. Okay? Shift. It's very hard to do in the moment because mostly you're trained just to interact intellectually. But that's okay. Got you covered. And that's where the mindfulness training comes in. And that's what today is. So I've got 2 training weapons here. Okay, it's a blue gun, right? So there's no safety issues to worry about. Nonetheless, I'm still going to follow safety protocols. And then I've got a wooden M16 replica. This is the actual size of an M16. It's actually this long, although it's not this thick, and it's not this light, and it's not made of wood. Nonetheless, it's going to be a useful training tool. Okay, so last week we talked about safety, okay? And so that's always assuming the weapon's safe or the weapon's loaded. And the reason you do that is because a mindset of safety around firearms is the best thing that you could possibly do to maintain the lowest possibility of a negligent discharge, and then you can interact with the weapon effectively. And then as long as you're interacting with it effectively, you can start hitting your target, and it's a lot of fun. Firearms are really quite a special thing. It's a gift that we get to have access to them in the United States, so it behooves us to treat them with respect. So that's safety rule 1. Now, all right, today what we want to get into is the fact that safety rule 2 is you never point the weapon unless you're pointing it at something you intend to shoot. Okay, so you see a lot of people that'll point the weapon, and mostly what this does is you're practicing kind of your structure, your alignment of it, right? So I'm going to point the weapon in a safe place, okay? So that way I don't have to worry about it, and I'm in my garage, so I'm practicing just my habits. But anyway, the second rule is you never point the weapon at something you don't intend to shoot, which means that your body points the weapon. And if you just, this type of stuff, no. We're not, we just are assumed that you're a professional person and you're going to interact with this, not in a flippant kind of way. So your body shoots the weapon. Now, when you shoot a weapon, see if you can see this, you gotta assess how you're aligned. So you bring your weapon up through the middle and you bring it out like that, okay? Now what I want to point out to you is that you have to have the structure squared away, or else you're not going to hit anything, okay? So the way you establish your structure is by breaking it down into chunks. There's your ground or your feet, okay? Your feet are what's touching the ground. Then it's your pelvis, okay? You've got to establish your pelvis, okay? That's where your center of gravity starts to be established. Then your core, okay? So your core is the space above your pelvis but below your heart space. Then your heart space, which includes your shoulder blades, then your throat and your head, then your throat, and then the top of your head, okay? So here you go, here you are, now your body are engaged with this weapon, okay? There's a slight engagement with the weight of your body, kind of establishing a balance, okay? And what you're doing is you're finding the greatest amount of comfort. You're not leaning backwards, you're not leaning forwards. And how do you know this? Because you can feel your body. The technical term for this is called interoception. Interoception. It's the ability to feel what's going on in your body. So with a pistol, here you are, okay? And you've got your good stance from your ground, your pelvis, your core, your heart space, your throat, top of the head. Okay, so that's with a pistol. Now, the same thing with the long gun, except that then now you have a bigger, longer weapon, and so you have to adjust for the weight and the alignment of it. So what do? You establish a connection to the weapon. You understand where it fits. You feel your ground, your pelvis, your core, your heart space, your throat, top of the head, and then you establish your positioning, okay? But what I'm pointing out to you, and this is the main lesson of today, is that we break the body down into chunks. And so you check in at your ground, your pelvis, your core space, your heart space, your throat, and the head, okay? That's the goal for today, and the goal and the understanding of today. You break the body down into chunks. There's 6 chunks. There's your ground, there's your pelvis, there's your core, there's your heart, or the heart space, which includes your shoulder blade. So it's not the front, okay? It's 3-dimensional, okay? It's all the way around, okay? Your throat and your head, 6 chunks, okay? I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna point those chunks out to you all week. So the thing to remember today are the 6 chunks of your body: feet, pelvis, core, heart space, throat, top of the head. Okay? Now, just like I said early on, you can move your attention to different places. You can move your attention from thought into the body. You can move your attention from different chunks. And what do at those chunks? You essentially talk in your head to the experience of the moment. Feet, are you as comfortable as you can be? Pelvis, are you as comfortable as you can be? Core, are you as comfortable as you can be? Heart space, are you as comfortable as you can be? Throat space, are you as comfortable as you can be? Head, are you as comfortable as you can be? Comfort and alignment is what makes you hit the target. Without comfort and alignment, if you're really uncomfortable and you're not aligned and you're not able to get more comfortable, the chances of you hitting the target go way down. Same thing with mindfulness. If you're sitting or you're practicing in any way and you are uncomfortable, your body's going to talk too much and you're going to be distracted from your ability to get calm and settled. So what you're always trying to do when you practice Armor Down Mindfulness Meditation with your body, and this is what you're going to find out is step 2, which you'll see, is you're always getting comfortable. How do you get comfortable? You check in with those chunks. You basically ask them in your mind. Feet, is there any more things that I can do to make you more comfortable? Pelvis, how can I make you more comfortable? Core, how can I make you more comfortable? Heart space, how can I make you more comfortable? Throat, how can I make you more comfortable? Head, how can I make you more comfortable? And then over time, what happens is you develop cues for comfort. These are the things that enable you to get quickly to comfort. So, you're a marksman. The more you practice, the more you understand that, boom, that's comfort. Boom, that's comfort. You fall into it quickly. It's not a long process of da-da-da-da-da-da. You can do that when you're training, but in reality, it's just quick. Boom. Okay, it's a fast thing. And so that's what happens when you practice mindfulness too. You tap in quick, and the tapping in happens fast as you develop this relationship with your body. So with that, I'll finish for the day. Tomorrow, we're going to actually tie it into your seated posture. So we're going to go onto the cushion itself, and we'll go into the actual, getting to see different styles of seated posture. There's lots of different ways to do it. So we're actually going to spend 2 days on that. So you'll find your own seat. But again, I keep doing that. Sorry. That's it. That's it for today. I hope you have a great day. If you got any questions, feel free to reach out. And new content's up on the cushion. So if you're an owner, you've got access to that for free. Everyone else, if you want the last week's training, go to the website. You can buy it for $5. So, yeah. All right, Armor Down. Talk to you tomorrow.